Welcome to the Jeremy and Andy Talk Movies podcast, where today we have a tremendous trio to talk about the Fantastic Four.
Me too.
And we are joined by, I guess I should say, I am Jeremy.
I'm Andy.
And
I'm Ryan Appleby.
we got Ryan on here for the first time. We're very excited. Ryan's excited. But it's just going to be a lot of fun. As we said, we're going to be talking about the Fantastic Four. This is the third MCU movie that we've gotten this year.
Yeah.
And it's been a much anticipated one. This is, I think, we could go ahead and call it the first one that is involving the new roster of heroes that they acquired essentially from Fox. Technically, Deadpool and Wolverine had Wolverine, but as we talked about, that's hardly an MCU movie, hardly a movie. This really feels like the one that's introducing new characters that they acquired. Yeah. So, we're going to jump right into it. I will try to give a summary of this movie, and then we'll share what we think about it. So, the Fantastic Four are a family of good old-fashioned heroes who are loved by the people as their protectors. But when the Silver Surfer shows up on Earth to herald its destructions at the hand of Galactus, a giant planet-eating space being, the group must work together to solve this problem and save the planet from impending doom. Impending doom.
See what you did there.
All right, Appleby, guys, was this movie good?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this movie was amazing. It's by far the best Marvel movie we've had probably since like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And I loved this movie. I really enjoyed it.
I agree with what he just said. I thought this was excellent. I really had a good time with this movie.
All right. I thought this movie was really well done. I actually, when I showed up for this movie, I'd got my tickets for IMAX in advance, and I scanned my thing, get my tickets, and he goes, "Here's your 3D glasses." And I go, did not catch it. It was 3D, and he's like, "Oh, are you still okay with it?" I was like, whatever, it's fine. I've already got my ticket. And I was shocked that, I actually enjoyed it in 3D. The 3D looked really good.
I bet Silver Surfer was cool in 3D.
Yeah. And I walked out saying, I think it probably did the Fantastic Four as well as you can do the Fantastic Four. The characters are likable. I thought it was visually amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made some notes. I wrote down it's like a top 5 coolest Marvel movie to look at. It's so visually appealing, I thought.
Yeah. But there's a but. In the end, I just felt it was kind of sterile.
Really?
Yeah. I just, for whatever reason, didn't walk out with that that bit of buzz and pop you feel after you've seen one of the really good ones. And I was like, I'm happy to talk about it because I want to try to locate exactly what was missing from this one because we can talk more about it. So, my first note was that I just loved the world that they created. That it was a wonderful visual aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I read it described somewhere as a retro futuristic version of the 60s. And I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. Everything about that.
It was. And right off the bat, now that we're, what is this, 37? Is this the 37th Marvel movie?
Something.
Is that right? Something like that.
more
Something
than
crazy.
that.
Or 37th Marvel, maybe that, I don't know, whatever. When you're that far in, you do need to set yourself apart in some way, I think. And yeah, just the world being different is a big help right off the bat.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they put this in a different multiverse than everything else.
Yeah.
It just made everything, I feel like work.
Yeah. Well, and you put it in a different multiverse, and then you don't feel like you have to connect it so much to all the other movies. We'll get into it later, even though they do at the end. It just felt like it was just a showcase of the Fantastic Four. We're not worried about, we also live in this world where there's been the snap, or I guess maybe there was, whatever, I don't know. But, it just felt different. Did the snap go through all the multiverses?
Well,
No,
but this is also happening in the 60s and some other Earth.
That's true.
So, I would imagine,
Yeah.
even if it happened through all the multiverses, it was
That's true.
happened down at...
My point is just, it did set it apart a little bit, which I think at this stage in the MCU, you need something to differentiate the movies.
Yeah. Here's a question for you guys. Technically, this wasn't an origin story, but they technically did. They kind of cheated by doing that news position TV show. We all know the story, and here's a quick recap of video. So, are we going to give it credit for no origin story?
I don't consider it an origin story.
Okay.
Do you?
Not really. But
No.
I kind of think the days of origin stories and the backgrounds is kind of over.
I wanted to talk about that.
Because I feel like Spider-Man and the MCU kind of started it because we've already had 2 Spider-Mans And we've already known what's happened with Uncle Ben and Aunt May. We didn't need that again, so Marvel didn't give us it again. Robert Pattinson's Batman didn't give us it. James Gunn's Superman didn't give us it. Fantastic Four's, they didn't give us the whole backstory. They just kind of gave us a quick recap.
Yeah. I don't want to interrupt your flow, but I wanted to talk about that. Like, if we think this is a new thing with superheroes, and do we like it?
I think to be fair, it works when you've got the really well-known superheroes. As you said, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. We don't need to know those backstories because it's so part of the cultural, fabric that people know it. I thought Fantastic Four was an interesting test case because they are well-known, but not to the level of those other ones I just mentioned. Right. So I think that's probably why they felt like they still needed that newscast position. Is like there might be a handful of the population or a section of the population that doesn't know about the Fantastic Four, even though this is the third iteration of the Fantastic Four in this century. But yeah, I agree with you. It's not really an origin story because even though they do give us the video and the newscast, which I kind of wish they just wouldn't have even done that, but it's fine. They at least didn't go through the okay, we have these new powers, we're learning about the new powers and all of that. That's really the part that a lot of times is a slog in superhero movies, is I've got a baby deer learn to walk stage of my powers.
Like, we don't get the scene of Joseph Quinn who's like he looks down and he sees a tiny little flame and he does this number.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting choice too. I was going to bring that up. They don't do the we're gradually learning about our powers. So I'll just say I'm in favor of bypassing all these origins. Now, you're right. They're doing it for the ones that we already know. I don't know how it would work for something like I don't know, whatever, a lesser, a lower tier superhero that's not as well known. But with superhero movies having just taken over the culture in the last, numerous years, I applaud these movies lately that have skipped the origin stories.
Yeah. I mean, we might even be able to say it goes back to not just Spider-Man Homecoming, but the original Guardians of the Galaxy, because they kind of just throw us in with those characters. Yeah. I mean, we always talk about,
and they were not well known.
We always talk about what a big swing that was for Marvel. It was the first we're getting real weird. We're going into space. We got talking raccoons and talking trees that just say the same line over and over again, and they didn't give any background to those characters. It's how they teamed up, but when we meet Rocket Raccoon,
he's Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, we don't get an origin story for him until the third movie. Yeah, so and I think that's when maybe it helped people see, if you just expect people to go with it, you don't have to try to explain it, make it make sense, which is a big part of the way superhero movies have gone. We talked about it when superhero movies first were becoming big because people could make them because the effects finally caught up. There was a lot of hesitancy that people won't buy it. It's too weird, and we got to make it as normal as possible. And I think that's what all the origin stories had to do is we got to give people a reason to believe this is happening. And now they're people just accept this stuff. We don't have to hold people's hand through it and try to get them there. They'll just go if we just go. So,
well, you think back to the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I mean, we get so many scenes of him being wait, what did I just do? The dude spills the food and he catches it all on the tray, or the girl or whatever. And, it's little oh, my hand kind of got stuck to this table. We get a lot of just little we good?
Yeah. Move your mic just a little bit closer to you. I'm sorry. I was watching the levels.
It's okay.
A little more.
A little more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rookies.
Sorry.
It's all right. They can be pretty close. It won't be a problem, but.
Okay.
So yeah, I just thought it was interesting that we're now living in this superhero world where we're just skipping the origin stories. And in this one, even to we said, to a more extreme where we're even skipping wait, my powers are what? They're just, here they are.
And I feel like these recent movies have done a good job of kind of skipping the origin stories, but still letting us connect, doing things that let us see their past experiences before they got their powers, but without just completely overlooking them. It makes them feel more human without us having to watch their origin story and watch them learn all their powers and stuff.
Yeah. So I like it. I just thought it'd be worthwhile to mention.
So it's a good point. I think probably in trying to pinpoint my biggest issue with this movie, I think my biggest issue with this movie is the central conflict of it. Mm-hmm. I think the fact that their central conflict is with Galactus, and I get that, I guess, in the comic books, Galactus is a big villain for the Fantastic Four, so it was a natural pairing. I just don't think he's a workable character in movies.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like, it's really hard for him to make sense. You know, he's gigantic by human standards. I saw somebody posting online like, man, just the scale of Galactus. And I get what they're saying. If you don't have any expectation for Galactus, you walk in and be like, he's basically bigger than Godzilla. You know, he's walking through a city. But he's tiny for a planet-eating being.
Yeah.
Like, you see him, you're like, okay, you're the size of a giant New York skyscraper. How are you eating planets bigger than Earth? You know, like, it just, I can't wrap my hand around that. And then you can't wrap your head around, like, how the Fantastic Four are even able to fight him.
Like, it seems like such a mismatch.
So you have to start doing, like, things that just seem silly. I mean, we'll get into spoilers later, but I think that's what makes me kind of like, I would have loved to see them face a much more grounded villain. And I think it would have helped me feel like the whole adventure was just so, everything about it was so big and grand, because they're like, we got to travel to the far reaches of space for, you know, one part of it, and we've got a, you know, giant unstoppable being, and everything just, I don't know. I would have liked, I mean, we talked about it before, how Spider-Man Homecoming, my favorite thing about that is it's one of my favorite MCU villains is Michael Keaton's Vulture, but it's because they made him very grounded and human, and they had great like dialogues back and
that's
forth.
An amazing
and, you know,
scene.
Yeah, and so it doesn't always have to be huge in order to be effective, and sometimes I think just too big actually takes away from the actual. But I don't know. You guys, let me know. Did you enjoy Galactus as a villain?
I really liked him as a villain. Like I grew up playing like Lego Marvel, and he was like the big villain in that. And I've always just thought he was really cool. But I agree with you kind of. I wrote down he was nerfed due to plot armor. Like the Fantastic Four had to win, but like realistically they would get destroyed by Galactus.
Right.
But like I thought he was pretty cool though. Like I enjoyed him in the movie, and I thought he looked like, I was kind of nervous because like you said, it's kind of hard to do Galactus because how big he is. So I was nervous, like, was he gonna look good? And I thought he looked pretty good. And so,
yeah, I don't have any big argument. I think you make a good point. I might just like counter it, just be like, man, Galactus looks cool up on the IMAX screen.
Yeah, and that's fair.
And which goes back to what you were saying, like just what a visually, and like you were talking about, what a visually appealing movie this is. I do agree with you. And really it feels like, you know, if we weren't so far into the MCU, I really do think they would have started smaller and built, you know, Fantastic Four. The third Fantastic Four movie would have been Galactus.
Right.
But here we are. So I guess to me, it's just like, you know what? He looked really cool.
Yeah.
and I feel like it's also hard to like have a Galactus and a Doctor Doom running around at the same time. So I feel like they kind of had to nerf Galactus a little bit to let room for Doom.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And rhymed.
It
Yeah.
did rhyme.
Yeah.
I don't know. I definitely see your point. I will say this. I liked how Galactus was just more like the dark cloud hovering over this movie. I did think it was a good, like, I guess it'd be a screenplay touch of like, he's coming. Mm-hmm. I thought that was cool. Like, that was just a different way. Because, you know, in all these movies, the villain is already there.
Yeah.
The villain is already present. I mean, I guess they did it with Thanos, but it works. Like, when it's like, he's on his way. And, like, we know he's coming. And so I thought that was just a little bit of a different, you know, I'm not saying it was groundbreaking, but it's just a little bit of a different spin on how they're going to fight the bad guy. Like, they have, like, a month or whatever it is, or 3, I don't remember. I think they say. But it's like, they know he's coming, and they have time to prepare for it. So, really, Galactus has pretty small screen time in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be surprised if it's 10 minutes.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. So I thought that I enjoyed that aspect of it, as opposed to like just Galactus is here, you know, the whole time, which they probably can't do because of his size. But I just thought that worked. Like, he's like, we found him, he's legit, and now he's coming. I like that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Okay, so I as I'm talking through, I'm kind of pinpointing more of like where my beats are.
Yeah.
I think the movie just also has a little bit of a personality problem.
Really?
And by that I mean like a lack of personalities.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you're not getting any personality from your villains.
Right.
Right. Silver Surfer is supposed to be an unemotional herald who eventually an emotional appeal does get through. Galactus is just driven by his craving for eating
Eating worlds, yeah.
So your villains aren't gonna be interesting, so your heroes have got to bring all the personality. And that's where I really feel like the Fantastic Four, I don't have a beef with any of the members of the Fantastic Four. I feel like they did each one well. But then I'm like, but there's really not like personality bursting out of any of them. You know, like, in fact, one of my kind of nitpicks about this movie is the Fantastic Four characters' personalities and their powers are supposed to match, right? Like they get powers that match their personality. So Mr. Fantastic he's flexible, and you know that's why he can stretch. Human Torch he's a hothead and impulsive. Sue Storm is supposed to be like she's shy and feels overlooked, and that's why she turned invisible. And instead they were like, well, we got to make her a strong female.
Yeah, they
character.
definitely didn't do that in this movie.
That part kind of goes away, and it's fine. Like I actually like the Sue Storm character, and you know what, you could draw parallels to her protective, mothering personality and the shields that she makes to protect people. Okay, I get that. The Thing is supposed to be like he's the Rock, you know, he's strong, and it's like they really kind of went the opposite of that. Like he's the real like nice softy guy, you know, like oh he loves kids, he's really sensitive. I don't have any problem with that, other than it just didn't feel like like the most interesting thing about the Fantastic Four for me is the fact that their personalities are supposed to be mirrored and amplified by their powers. And that didn't happen in this movie.
Yeah, this movie didn't do that at all. And I mean, and you're right. Like, if you want to compare this to like Guardians or something, like there's the secret sauce of Guardians. It's just
so much personality.
So much personality. And I agree. Like, if you're like, man, Reed Richards and Sue Storm, like, what are their big characteristics? And you don't get a lot. But it was just more I don't know, just likable actors, I guess, and just
for sure. And we'll talk more about the cast, I'm sure, eventually. But they pulled it off.
Yeah. I really don't have a big counter argument to what you just said. Now, I will say, but I'm like I've talked about on this podcast before, I'm a Joseph Quinn guy.
Yeah.
So I just thought he had some I thought he had some good stuff.
Yeah. I will say I think this is the best any of the iterations have done Mr. Fantastic in making him actually seem like the really smart guy. And it was interesting that it was kind of a burden for him.
Yeah.
I wrote down, I was like, it's so cool how they made him being a genius like a gift and a curse for him. Like, I just thought they did that super well.
Yeah. And I mean, the other ones, not obviously when we compare the previous iterations of Fantastic Four, they're not held in high esteem. So It's not like, well, they didn't get it. But they're just kind of like, he's a smart guy, he's a scientist, and that's about it. You know, he's just kind of generic nerd. This is the first one I felt like gave him more depth than just generic nerd because of that. Because he was dealing with the guilt of like, I should have known.
I liked that beat of this movie.
And also I love the like, you know, so one of the big things is that Galactus says, I'll spare your world if you give me your baby. And the way he had to deal with, I know intellectually as a genius, statistically and all of that, that this is the right, the right choice would be to give it a baby. But emotionally I can't make that choice, and him trying to sort of reconcile that where it's much easier for Sue to just be like, well, no,
absolutely
of course not. She won't even entertain the intellectual side. He can't help but entertain the intellectual side.
I have a quote that I wrote down. It was when they were all sitting at like the table before like the kind of like the mob showed up to the Baxter Building. Mr. Fantastic said, "It's ethical, it's mathematical, and it's available." Like, he's running it through his head that, like, it makes sense to save the Earth, to sacrifice Franklin, but, like, he emotionally can't. But obviously, because he's such a genius, like, he has to think about that type of stuff.
See, and I thought that was a nice beat for the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so question, this is just opinion. Do you think they're holding back a little bit on how much you see the personalities of these guys because they want them to be front and center going forward? Like, this is not spoiler at all, but like it's pretty much on record saying they're going to be a huge part of Avengers Doomsday.
And you would expect that because traditionally, I believe Dr. Doom is like, he's like Joker to the Fantastic Four's Batman, right? Like they are primarily pitted against each other, so it makes sense for them to be front and center in the movies that he is the main villain. I don't know. I wouldn't think that they would hold back at all because I would think they'd want to sell it as best they can and be like,
that's true.
See, everybody, this. And they've had the same problem that Superman has had, where a lot of people say they're just kind of inherently vanilla characters. They're kind of a little boring. They've got that 60s do-gooder family aesthetic, which doesn't always work. They made the 60s look cool with that retro future thing they did with the aesthetic. I think they were having the same challenges for how do we give the Fantastic Four a sort of modern and yet retro personality upgrade. And that's what I was saying. Like, I think they actually did the best that you can. I think there are just inherent flaws to the Fantastic Four kind of all being Captain America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're just good people.
There's, with the Avengers, you've got to have Captain America balanced by Tony Stark and his personality and his snarkiness, and he's got that bad boy side to him. And Thor's, the
like he's a god and
from
he knows
Asgard, and he's
you petty people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And all those dynamics are so different. But in here, you've got 4 Captain Americas, basically.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
I really feel bad that it feels like I'm just dumbing on this movie, but I'm not.
This is what we do. We talk through it.
I liked this movie, but I needed to talk through the issues I had. I did want to say this: the robot character Herbie in this movie. A lot of people, especially after they listened to me just bash the little dinosaur on Jurassic World Rebirth for being just there to sell toys, even though I'm sure Herbie will help sell toys, actually served a purpose in this movie, and I did not have a problem with Herbie. I actually liked Herbie. So
I loved Herbie.
Yeah, you like Herbie?
I did realize afterwards, Googling Herbie, because I wanted to make sure, I couldn't even remember if I was remembering the name correctly, so I Googled Fantastic Four Herbie and saw pictures it's from the comics. Like Herbie's not something they just made for the film. I didn't know that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That makes it even better, because obviously they didn't make it just to sell toys. They're being comic faithful. I did say he served a function in the story as if anything, you could actually complain he served too much of a function, because he was every time they needed something, Herbie, do this. Herbie, fly the plane while we all do other thing. It was, but yeah, I liked Herbie.
Yeah, I liked Herbie a lot.
Yeah, I had no complaints here. And you're right, stuff like that can really, if it's not done well, it's just a big distraction, or it's, it turns like a Jar Jar Binks or something where you're just like, this thing is actively dragging this movie down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no complaints about Herbie.
Yeah. Let's give a spoiler warning here so we can talk more about how
the specifics,
the final events, start to play out, or even things leading up to the final event. So, spoiler warning if you haven't seen it, stop the podcast, go watch it, and come back and finish the podcast. So, as you said, a lot of the movie is just he's coming, getting ready for it. As I said, they go out to space to meet him for the first time. Yeah. Luckily, again, in these movies, they're having enough faith to say people just trust they can just, light speed leap, whatever, black hole leap through space,
no big deal,
and end up in this place. And we're thankfully, we'll accept it just to keep the movie moving briskly. Yes. And it did. That, I was happy for that. But we arrive where Galactus lives, and we see him for the first time, and I did think that was cool. I thought that was well played out, and Galactus just being
opens his eyes.
Yes, towering being. It did look cool in the 3D, seeing them standing on the ledge and Galactus in the background. So that was impressive. But what I liked about that is that they didn't spend so much time there.
Yeah.
When they first went out there, I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be largely a space movie, isn't it? And not to say that that's bad, but just usually the further we get from Earth and the real world, the more I'm let's get back to things I know. And we didn't spend it, they accomplished exactly what they needed to in the story, and they moved on. But what did you guys think of that section of the movie?
I loved the space scene. I thought the black hole scene was amazing. One of my friends compared it to Interstellar, the black hole scene. I thought it was so visually cool, and they were going faster than light is whatever he tells Herbie to do, and they're in that wormhole thing. I think the whole Silver Surfer chasing them through space was awesome. I thought Galactus's world-eating ship was awesome. Seeing Galactus for the first time was awesome. Long story short, I just thought it was awesome.
All right, but did you think it was awesome?
It was pretty fantastic.
Okay, all right, nice.
I knew you'd work that in somewhere. Yeah, I mean, no notes. It was well done. I'm like you. I'm I don't know if I need to see these guys in space. If I'm just meeting this version of the Fantastic Four, I want to. And I thought the time, the way it timed out was great. They were on there for the right amount of time. Like you said, it accomplished what it needed to accomplish. Marvel does do things really well. They do the thing really well where it's the hero and the villain having back and forth. I just think Marvel does a good job of that, and the whole Galactus, like, hey, give me that baby and I won't bother you. And, I mean, whatever they all say, but it's like they always do a good job of making that kind of feel like grand and important and like the big showdown.
Yeah. I love a good moral dilemma.
Yeah.
Give my characters a good moral dilemma where, and he says that, and of course, as a movie viewer, you're going like, well, would I give up my baby to save humanity? They get back to Earth, and Reed Richards does something I would never advise anyone to do, and he tells the whole truth at the press conference. And I'm like, dude, don't tell those people all you got to do is give up your baby, because you know what the world is going to say.
Yeah.
Give up your baby, especially if you're not planning to. You can't tell the world, hey, we couldn't save you because they wanted our baby and that was too much for us. But he just does it. And again, I think that's kind of a good character thing that like Reed Richards is just like, he's just too like brutally honest. He's as smart as he is. He doesn't think through the ramifications of like, hey, I shouldn't just tell everybody the facts.
Yeah.
I've got to just tell them the facts. He tells it, and sure enough, everybody's like, well, dude, we want to live. We've got babies. Like, give up your baby.
I was kind of on the just give up the baby side, save the Earth. Like I was like thinking for a while, like, are they just gonna give up Franklin? But then Vanessa Kirby, or Sue Storm, goes out there and gives that speech, and she's like,
"You love that speech,
I love
didn't
the
you?"
speech. It was kind of like okay, it's just like kind of like a superhero speech. And then she says, "I will not sacrifice my kid for this world, but I'm also not gonna sacrifice this world for my kid." And I was like, dude, that's some fire writing right there.
That is fun writing. It doesn't actually mean anything because I'm like, that sounds great. What does that mean?
That's what I'm saying though, and that's another thing Marvel does well. I mean, like, how many awesome speeches did Captain America give where you're just like, yes, yes. And I thought they did that really well here, where I was like, yeah, she comes out, she's got the baby, and then she drops the speech. I was like, that was cool.
Which was another thing I would never advise. I get it, like she's the Invisible Woman and can do protective shield, so she
don't bring the baby out there.
Like, don't bring your baby to the angry mob that wants you to give up your baby.
I know, but cool speech and I like going back to your point, like the personalities and different things, like that was still though to me that was a cool moment.
It was.
So and then she was like, "I'll move like heaven and earth for this child," and then like that clicks and like.
It's the light bulb moment.
It's the light bulb moment. And we've seen all that in different movies before. But when it's done well, and it works. And I had no problem with it.
Yeah. I mean, that was the part that I was like, I'm willing to accept all the space travel, the superpowers, the intergalactic being. But when he's like, we'll set up all these portals and just move Earth to a place that's like within 2% of like, and I'm like, I've heard enough science to know that within 2% it's not enough. It won't sustain life. We're all dead. Like, where are you moving Earth?
It's ridiculous. It is. But
they don't let it breathe long enough for you to like worry about it. They're like, we're just going.
I do kind of think it makes Galactus more like scary and like overpowering. It's like, we can't defeat this guy. We're just gonna have to move the Earth.
Our own. That's a really good point, actually. Like, that does help how they're setting up Galactus, where it's like, this dude is so BA, our only chance is to move the Earth.
They just run from
Brad. I mean, I agree with you on that.
It is incredible that the whole Earth is just like, well, Reed said it, so I guess we're all on board. We're going to move the planet.
You know what, though? You know what? I will say, and I'm not arguing with you, but if you go back through the whole history of the MCU, having to accept the ridiculous is not just now happening.
No.
I mean, really, it starts with Iron Man, where you're just like, okay, like, sure, this guy can fly, and you know what I mean? Like, so that stuff does. You're more of a thinker than I am, though, so that stuff just does not bother me.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that's the advantage of being dumb, is you can just be like, cool, they should just move the Earth. But you're right, where it's just like, hey, get on the horn and just tell everyone to build this.
Do people pack? I don't know. Like, what do? We're moving the Earth.
I think you just kind of cross your fingers and hope for the best.
Hope we all don't die.
Yeah, hope it'll actually place us like right in the sun or something.
So since we're already in spoilers and we're getting to this point anyways, I was expecting a great like Marvel, top tier Marvel quip when they're getting ready to do the transport Earth, and Silver Surfer shows up and starts wrecking portals so they can't, and then Reed figures out, well, if we can't port away Earth, we'll port away Galactus. And when it hit him, I wanted one of the other characters to be like, why was that not our first? Why was that not first? We were going to move the whole planet.
Why didn't we just
Why didn't
move
we
this
think about
guy?
moving this guy
That
first?
part-
And he could have been like, yeah, like smart guy. I should have thought of that one.
That would have been a great line for Joseph Quinn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
somebody needed to just give him a hard time for
Yeah.
you. You never thought one portal for this guy versus all these portals for all of Earth. So yeah, so then he shows up. If there's other parts you want to talk about, that's fine. But I
No,
just
we're
wanted to-
hitting the main points.
He shows up Godzilla style. You know,
I do want to say
traipsing
something
through the
about
city.
Godzilla style. So in like the comic books and in like the video game, like Lego Marvels, he has the ability to like make himself as big and as small as he wants.
oh,
So when you were talking about that earlier, like about like
He actually can
so
get
that,
bigger.
that would be a good thing to
To
somehow
know,
allude
yeah.
to.
yeah, he can make himself as big or like he can make himself like human sized if he wants to.
Okay.
That's one of his powers.
Definitely would have been good to know. Like,
Yeah, I agree with you.
and that would have been even a cool thing to see. Like, see him approaching Earth and be huge, and then just like shrink down
Yeah.
so he can interact with them. Like, because maybe when he's planet size, you literally can't talk to humans. It'd be
Yeah.
a big booming sound.
That is
Uh,
that's fair. I will say too, it is to me going back to the Godzilla thing. It's always effective when your big, huge villain emerges from the ocean.
When the waves
That
are
just
going,
works.
Yeah.
Even in terrible movies like the Roland Emmerich Godzilla, that part still works. When the
Yeah.
big thing emerges from the ocean, that just works.
You were correct.
When Galactus looked at the Statue of Liberty,
yeah.
I was genuinely scared for Earth.
Yeah, that was
I was
cool.
like, oh, it's over.
And
for us.
again, that's going
yeah.
back to like the just little things that Marvel does well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought for sure he was gonna like
I thought he was
wreck
gonna-
the Statue of Liberty.
I did too.
And then he didn't. He just kind of side-eyed it, and I was like, "All right, Galactus, you weirdo. I see you eyeing my Statue of Liberty."
He thought she was fine.
Hey,
That's what
big
you're
lady.
saying. I thought it was a cool beat of Galactus just looking at that Statue of Liberty though, and just like, psh. Like I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did think it was cool too that Galactus comes in and just man on a mission. Where's that baby
Yeah.
gonna get it? And he starts going, and the Fantastic Four is doing all they can to like slow him down, and he just doesn't react. He doesn't even act annoyed by them.
No.
Like Johnny Storm comes in and starts flaming him up and on
Dude's
fire.
just still
and
walking
he
on
just keeps-
fire.
He doesn't even brush him off. Or
Nope.
anything. He's just like, I'm just gonna keep going. Like
Yeah, because
you're a gnat, and I'm hardly even annoyed by you.
Yeah.
So all that was great, and then it really is like Sue Storm is the hero of this movie. I mean, she's the triumphant one, and you know we could do it's the famous strength of a mother when her baby's in peril. You know, they can lift a car type. What do you call those? Like famous myths that people can do or whatever.
Yeah.
But she starts shield pushing him to the portal. And I'm like, okay, this is where like all of a sudden, like there's no way Sue Storm has the strength
To beat
to be
Galactus.
shoving around. Galactus is like, oh, I can't resist this. It's like, this is
a little bit of a
you've
stretch
gotta
for you.
win somehow. But like, I would have much rather it had been by Mr. Fantastic having to do something to outsmart him and lure him and trick him into there. So
Yeah.
using his brain, because like, okay, Galactus might be big and dumb, or just not think of the tricks he would do, but just a straight up strength thing where she's just too powerful and is able to push him. That's where I'm like,
Didn't work for you,
Yeah,
huh?
I needed a climax that was gonna be a little more satisfactory
I
than
can
that.
kind of agree with that. I thought like overall the entire movie was good, but if I had to like nitpick one point, it'd be like the final act, like Galactus getting pushed into the portal. Like that's how they beat him. And I don't really like Sue dying and then Franklin bringing her like back to life. Like if
I mean, there's no suspense there when they've already announced that Vanessa Kirby's in Doomsday.
and I feel like they've done that before. It's like, oh, you think the character's dead,
Yeah.
but they're not. Avengers, with Tony Stark falling from the space.
oh yeah, it's all been done before.
I mean, they also got the baby back from Galactus as he falls through the portal way too easily. Like Galactus, you came here just for this baby. How about you just
your
grip
fist.
him a little bit? I know obviously you don't want to crush the baby, but you're just like, as I fall here, take him, please.
Luckily for them too, that baby just very willing to just crawl around on Galactus and not.
Yes.
But so I guess just going back to like, do I like this movie? Yes, I did. I'm not saying it's perfect.
Yeah.
I just at this point in the MCU, I'm just gauging it by like, does this feel like it's at least like deserving to be in the MCU? Which probably says a lot about whether we need these movies or not. But I mean, I agree with any nitpick we all have. But I'm just saying, overall, it's like, you know what? I like this movie.
I love this movie.
Yeah,
but I couldn't.
but
nitpick
I can't
if it
argue
was-
with that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, again, because we're into spoilers, it's a 0% surprise when Silver Surfer shows back up.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the kind of the cliche of like this person who's just evil, and it kind of just takes like one pep talk from Johnny Storm
Yeah.
to make her change her mind.
I liked that though. Like I
No,
thought
I
it was
did
cool.
too. Like, and I thought it gave something for Joseph Quinn to do and the Johnny Storm character to do. To like, how I'm going to decipher this language. Like that was. I don't mind it. I'm just saying, like, we've seen this all a million times.
I do really like though how he deciphered the language because like in the other like iterations of Fantastic Four, he's just a hothead, but you got to remember he's like also a genius and a super smart scientist.
So it gave
who
him
went
a
up to
little
space.
something more to do other
Yeah,
than being the
just be the
hothead.
hothead.
Yeah.
I take back a previous statement where I said them just beating Galactus with powers was the bridge too far for me. It was the translation.
Was that you didn't like that?
Dude translated an alien language off of some sketchy recordings and 3 words of translation. 3 words. He'd have to be the greatest linguist in the history of not just humanity, but in comic book lore. to
But he
take
had all
3
those charts
words,
up on the
3 words ago.
No, yeah.
So now, literally, the next time I see her, I'm going to talk to her in this language.
Yeah.
I mean, just
But so again, though, I will say that is the advantage of these more streamlined MCU movies,
Yeah.
where you're right, you just don't have time to think about how stupid it is.
yeah. That one I am just being more playful, like about because
Oh, it's ridiculous.
yeah,
it's ridiculous. I'm just saying, at least it gives that character and Joseph Quinn, who is a good actor, at least it gives him something to sink his teeth into a little bit.
yeah.
By the way, could we just? I don't want to derail you. I love the bit of Joseph Quinn thinking Silver Surfer was hot.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really funny because I think Joseph Quinn just really pulls off that. Like, this dude is a good actor. Like, for him to be Eddie Munson in Stranger Things and be the dude in Warfare and now be Johnny Storm, like, this guy's got some range. He just really is really good at pulling off like that, almost like teenager type humor. And when he gets those lines like, oh, the hot alien or what, you know, da da da, like you and I talked about, like, he just is really good at that.
Yeah.
It's kind of low hanging fruit. I'm not saying it's like this was unbelievably funny humor, but when you got someone like Joseph Quinn saying it, I think he pulls that off well.
Yeah. So let's do it. Let's talk through some of the people who are the talent involved in making this movie. So this movie was directed by Matt Shakman. This is not his first movie, but it's his first like movie of note.
He did WandaVision as well.
He did WandaVision, all 9 episodes of it he directed. He is his most prolific work has been doing 43 episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That is hilarious to me, but it's not unusual for the MCU. The Russo brothers came from comedy TV
yeah, they did
before
Community.
they did the big MCU movies. That was basically like they hadn't done anything like the MCU movies before they did them.
Yeah.
Now they're the MCU guys.
Yeah.
But I thought he did a good job. That's all I'm gonna say is like for a guy who didn't have the big resume as far as like big budget movies like this coming in, I was like, it's really impressive because this is one of the better looking movies and we talk all the time about tone. This movie did get tone right. It had a good consistent tone. It knew what it was. It felt like everybody was telling the same story. For the most part, I'll have one note on that later, but I thought he did a really good job as a director.
Yeah, kudos to him. I thought he did a good
he
job.
did.
A lot of pressure for him too. Like, you know, this isn't directing, you know, a third Iron Man movie where we know people love Iron Man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is him getting like, hey, we kind of need you to help make this the next big thing for the MCU. So a lot of pressure on him, and he, I believe, is penciled in, or maybe it's official now, to do the X-Men MCU movie.
Yeah.
Nice.
So clearly the MCU has a lot of trust in this guy.
And like speaking of that, like trust him to like make the next foundation for Marvel. The rumor on the street is like Mr. Fantastic is going to be like the lead guy in Doomsday.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if this doesn't work, that's a big stumbling block for Doomsday, which, you know, they're really counting on to be a huge deal. So they put a lot of trust in this guy, and I thought he delivered.
Yeah. This movie had no less than 4 writers getting
Yeah.
actual screenplay credits. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 others getting story by credits. So We're not going to go into each of them. We're just going to say this was written by a committee, and a lot of Marvel stuff is.
Yeah,
So,
it's not unusual for Marvel.
but the cast. So Pedro Pascal playing Reed Richards. Everybody knows Pedro these days. Of course, he kind of broke out in Game of Thrones. Not new to superhero movies. I forgot he was in Wonder Woman 1984. Most people probably forgot that he was in.
I bet he would like to forget he was in Wonder Woman 1984. That movie is terrible.
Yeah, he may be most famous for his gifts from The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Him riding in the car next to Nicolas Cage, looking over with that crazy smile. He was in Eddington just a couple weeks ago, which I didn't like. So, but I think he is good. I'm kind of like everybody else. I'm like, man, Pedro's in everything, and maybe he's a little overexposed. But I was watching this and I was going, there's a reason he gets picked for a lot of things because he's a talented guy. Like, he's not in a lot of things just because random Hollywood, favoritism. I don't know.
Yeah, I like him.
So I thought that Pedro pulled off this part really well.
I was pretty upset when I figured out that John Krasinski was not going to be Mr. Fantastic because he was in Multiverse of Madness as Mr. Fantastic, and I didn't really like the Pedro Pascal casting, and he proved me entirely wrong. I think he killed it. I think he was probably like one of the best characters in the entire movie.
Yeah,
I think he just did an amazing job of being Mr. Fantastic.
I think what I was saying earlier about his character and the things they got right about him, making him more than just the smart guy. Pedro is perfect for those things. Pedro has more of a vulnerability to him than, say, like a John Krasinski. John Krasinski has more of a typical hero to him. And I think, so when we thought about, who's going to lead this team, Krasinski seems like a good hero type. But when you picture the scenes of, him doubting himself and all of that.
I think Pedro's better at that.
Pedro is better at that.
And it's like any part like this, you have to be able to pull off the brainy nerd, but also, I'm going to fight Galactus. And that's not an easy thing to do, I'm sure.
I love the way that he would talk himself through the equations in his head. The dialogue, he just sounded like someone that was thinking at 1,000,000 miles per second. He just did that really well.
Yeah,
too.
he projected that well. I agree.
Yeah. Vanessa Kirby playing Sue Storm, which, by the way, why is she not Sue Richards? Right? She's married to Reed Richards.
Do they actually say Sue Storm in the movie?
I think so. And I'm pretty sure she's on IMDb as Sue Storm. But just something, it doesn't matter. Mostly known for Mission Impossible movies, being in Fallout in 2018. She was also in Dead Reckoning, but I really just think of her in Fallout because that's the one where her character had more
and half of
to
the
do.
Last half of Dead Reckoning, she's out cold, they knock her out or something.
She was also in Napoleon, but we don't want to talk about Napoleon. Wasn't a great movie.
No.
But I was I gained a lot of respect for her as an actress in this movie because I like her in the Mission Impossible movies, but it's hard to know from the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, those aren't about her.
Especially her part. They're we want you to show up, we want you to look good in that elegant gown and have a vibe about you, but she didn't necessarily get to act. She didn't get to give a great monologue like she gave in this one, and so I thought she did a really good job. Even though, again, my nitpicks about her character being inconsistent from what I expected from
That's not on
Storm,
her.
it's not on her.
Yeah.
But I thought she did a good job.
Yeah, I think she did a really good job too.
Agreed. And when you're doing the thing she has to do at the end of the movie where you're basically just holding up your hands and fighting Galactus, it's kind of like we talked about with, even though it's way different, with Anya Taylor-Joy and Furiosa, you have to be able to pull off these things without people rolling their eyes and being like, oh my gosh. When you're just sitting there acting against a green screen, okay, now, so you're pushing Galactus.
You're pushing now, you're pushing harder.
Yeah. For her to pull, I'm not saying it's amazing acting, but the fact that you could do that and not look stupid, that's impressive.
I thought her faces throughout the entire movie were really good. I feel when you're doing stuff like that, if your face is weird, the whole thing's weird. And you can't, I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
I thought when she was giving birth, that didn't seem that sounds weird.
That could sound weird for someone who's not seen the movie.
She had really good acting in that scene.
Yeah,
is what I'm trying to say.
She if you think about it, she has to kind of do a lot in a way in this movie. It can't. It's so you're in a spaceship giving birth, and it's it would be easy for her to be oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. But she seems very game. I thought she did a good job.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm.
Love this guy.
You said it. He's coming on strong recently,
yeah.
ever since Stranger Things, but Quiet Place Day One. Gladiator 2, even though we wouldn't love that movie, he was still good in it.
Yeah.
Warfare. I did think it was interesting. You know, I'd heard him say in interviews or seen, you know, little write-ups from his interviews that this isn't going to be the typical Johnny Storm that's just a womanizer and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. There's going to be more to him. And I was like, that's cool. That makes sense. That is trying to update the character. I'm as typical. But once again, I think sometimes when you try to update a character like that so he won't be offensive, it actually ends up making him more bland.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have used more of Johnny being a hotshot, an
Yeah.
impulsive guy.
Yeah.
You know, I could have used him being a little more. Again, this movie that's lacking personality needed to let Joseph Quinn cook a little more.
If you're going to let anyone cook in this movie, it needed to be Joseph Quinn.
So did you like Chris Evans better as a Human Torch, or did you like Joseph Quinn better as a Human Torch?
We'll get to that.
Okay. Well, then I'm going
you
to say what I
worry.
thought about Joseph Quinn
Okay.
then. Because when they announced the cast, I was questionable about him and Pedro Pascal, but they both blew like my expectations out of the water. I think Joseph Quinn was an amazing Johnny Storm. Or,
Yeah.
whatever. Human Torch. I just think he did an amazing job with
Yeah.
the character.
and I just like him. So, like, it's just easier for me to be like, he nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Eben Moss Backrack played Ben Grimm. I don't think they call him the Thing in this movie, do they? Maybe in
that I-
like that cartoon that where it has him quoting in the cartoon,
I
it's
think
clobbering
maybe,
time, and that was a
yeah.
whole thing. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't. He's like, I don't actually say that. It's just the cartoon, but they call him Ben the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
which is a nice update because I always thought like it sounds a little mean. They're just like everybody else gets cool
Thing.
names like you're
yeah.
the Thing,
Yeah.
or can't even call you like Rock Guy,
Right.
the Thing. I don't even want to give you a cool name, but he's obviously most known for the Bear,
Mm-hmm.
and he's also was in the Punisher show. It took me a long time to realize that I had seen him in the Punisher show, liked his character in the Punisher show, and I was watching the Bear for a while. I mean, like I know this guy from something I don't know, and finally I saw it connected somewhere because he had like big curly hair and a beard, big beard, and Punisher. But he's become one of those guys that, in that short amount of exposure to him, is a guy that you feel like you know, and his voice just being the Thing is kind of a comfort voice. Like you just like, I just like hearing it.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't have a lot to do in this movie other than be the super nice guy.
That's what I was going to say. He probably has the least to
Yeah,
do.
I wish they would have done more with him, but
Yeah.
I liked what they did with him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any complaints. But yeah, it was probably the least interesting character, probably.
And I think probably part of the reason is not based on comic books, because I don't know the Fantastic Four comics, but based on the previous movies, my guess is those are based more on the comic books. That his thing is he struggles the most of any of the characters with what the powers did to him, because everybody else gets to be a normal human, but he's transformed into this rock
I
monster.
loved that. Like,
And so they probably were like, we don't. It's a drag. Watch
Yeah.
this guy just struggle with. I've got to be this, and so they forego that. But when you forego that, you also forego
Anything
a lot of
interesting about the
exposure
character.
to the character. Yeah, and so like all that's left is just kind of be a likable rock guy.
Yeah.
I loved the shot where like he's looking at the TV.
That was
and
a cool
it's
shot.
Ben, and then the TV shuts off, and it's just him looking
Yeah.
back at himself.
That was a cool
I
shot.
thought that was really cool.
I agree. That was a cool shot.
And another thing about like the Thing and the Ben in the movie is I was like super nervous, like they were gonna get him, like he was gonna look funky or weird. But I thought like out of everyone, he looked the best.
You liked his
Like,
look?
I never thought like the CGI right there was like
Mm-hmm.
or like he kind of looks goofy right there. I thought the entire time he was on the screen, he looked like amazing.
Yeah, I liked his look. I thought it was cool. Even when he grows a
I
beard.
love the
That's
beard.
weird.
that was like,
That's definitely a choice.
And like he ages like a year every day or something like that.
Oh, does he?
And
See, I didn't
his
know that.
beard grows like really quick or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
It's something along those lines that he ages really quickly.
Gotcha.
So his beard
And
grows
I'm
fast.
like you. I'm not trying to sound down on it, but it was just like if there was any character that had the least amount to do, it was probably him.
yeah. Julia Garner plays Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Big controversial thing when she was cast. Oh gosh, we're casting a woman as Silver Surfer.
Actually, comic
It's
accurate.
comic accurate. The
I-
first
I'd
ever
say-
Silver Surfer was a girl.
Yeah.
So
So chill out, people.
That's fine with me. I
Yeah.
honestly did not care either way. She's obviously really known for Ozark. That's a show I really liked,
Yeah.
and so
She's.
I'm
We should talk about her year really fast.
but she was in Wolfman.
Yeah.
at the start of the
movie
year.
that we liked.
Yeah,
And then she's got Weapons coming up.
it does have. That's true.
So if Weapons lands, to me, that'll be 3 good to really good movies she's been in this year. So good for
Yes.
her.
That said, as much as I like her, it really could not have mattered less that it was her as Silver Surfer.
No, it made no difference.
Because once again, the Silver Surfer is, for the most part, a very stoic.
Yeah, it didn't make a
character.
difference.
And she's so CGI'd over silver and stuff. Like, if I didn't know it was her, it wasn't like she showed up. I go, that's Julia Garner.
No, it made no difference.
So it didn't make a difference. It is cool that it is her. It's
Yeah.
kind of nice just knowing and.
I was gonna
fine,
say
good
I'm kind of
job,
just
but-
happy to have her in the MCU because she does seem like someone who has a lot of talent, and she's in movies I like, or I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like Weapons. So
Yeah.
did you think? Do we think the Silver Surfer looked good up on the screen?
Sure. But honestly, like, so the 2007 Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, not a good movie. I thought Silver Surfer looked cool in that. And, like,
Yeah.
there's really not a way to, like, upgrade it. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Like, there's only so much you can do.
They upgraded it by this one thing. She
Chick.
uses her surfboard as an actual surfboard. Like when she's surfing on the lava,
Yeah, that
when
was-
she's surfing on the black hole, like
Yeah.
stuff. That I like the little kid in me. It was like smiling so big. Like
Yeah.
I just thought that was so cool.
I thought it was cool too.
And it
Honestly,
was really funny when she gets knocked off it for a second, and later Human Torch is like saying to random people, "It's like surfboard's not part of her body. It's
Yeah.
not a part of her body."
Yeah. I thought she was a good addition to this movie, and then kind of like with Galactus, I thought she's used pretty sparingly, really. But I
Yeah.
thought it was well done. And again, a thing that the MCU knows how to do well: cool entrance for her. Like all of a sudden, the sky just is like those like fire in the sky. She just kind of ascends, gives this again an MCU thing, gives a cool speech, and then she's just gone. And I was like,
you think they're about to walk back inside and they get the alerts.
Yeah.
And behind them, it's like those like meteors
Yep.
are coming in and stuff.
Yep.
And her Herald speech was amazing.
yeah. Again, this is not breaking any new ground, but it's just stuff that the MCU knows how to do effectively.
You're right. I need to go back to something real quick because I meant to mention this, but the meteors kind of reminded me of this because they don't show the meteors doing any destruction.
Yeah.
When Galactus shows up, they've evacuated the city.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is still the effect of Man of Steel and the criticisms Man of Steel got for everyone was like so much collateral damage, all the fighting they did, the
Now
smashing
they
into
feel like
buildings.
they need to explain.
Every movie, I feel like superhero movies since then has gone out of its way to talk about how they've cleared the area
Mm-hmm.
so that all the damage isn't doing collateral damage. And every time I see it in a movie now, I just think Man of Steel effect. And I'm like, I get it. Like, it's kind of a bummer if Galactus shows up and when he traces through those buildings, you have to go like, oh man, those were full of people and all these people are dying. At the same time, he's a dude coming to destroy the world and maybe he's going to do some damage. Like, you don't always have to make it so
Obvious that he's
like peril free for everybody
Yeah.
that you clear a whole city just for him to not kill anybody.
I'd rather them like clear the whole city than have like the scenes where like they have to stop fighting Galactus to go like sweep someone away from a car or something. Like I just want to see the Fantastic Four and Galactus fight in that scene.
Yeah.
I think you
like
do,
that.
I do think you raise a good point. I think one advantage of it is it just gets all that other unnecessary stuff out of our way.
Straight hands.
And I will say this too: in this movie, it didn't just feel like, oh, we got to get everyone out of the way. Like they established Mole Man at the very beginning of that movie, so like at least they tried. But I agree with you. It's like, dude, you don't have to wear kid gloves,
Right.
For me to enjoy this movie. If he wipes out half the city, so be it.
Yeah. Here's my hot take is it never bothered me in Man of Steel.
That didn't
I
bother
was
me
like,
either.
I never felt like they were being like Superman was being cavalier about life. He's fighting a super being, trying
He's
to
just
save
trying
and,
to-
like it.
It's like a few thousand people may die so that I can save a
Right,
billion
like,
people.
exactly.
Yeah.
He can't help that when they punch and fight each other. They
It kind of feels like an end
thrown
result of a
around.
lot of nerds at home with way too much free time on their hands
Yeah.
to start nitpicking this stuff.
So I think that's why it stands out so much to me is it's felt like a huge overreaction from a
I
lot
agree.
of superhero movies.
And now, we're talking, over 10 years ago that Man of Steel was. I was like, get over it, people.
yeah. I mean, people still, like, the new Superman came out and people are still like, well, he's not a huge murderer like in that Man of
Oh, I
Steel
know.
movie. And I'm like,
Get over it, people. Yeah.
right. So continuing through the cast, just a couple more. So Ralph Ineson plays Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that he's been in a lot for a long time, but most notably, we talked about him when he was in the first Omen. We were like, this dude just got a presence and a voice.
Yeah.
He was in Nosferatu a little bit,
Yeah.
and we're like, he's doing well. And so I thought it was cool when I discovered, oh, this guy's gonna be Galactus, and
Same.
sure enough, like we said, he's got the voice.
He
And
does.
of course, it's totally
Enhanced.
modulated and enhanced, but you start with
Still
it.
cool.
And
Yeah.
so I thought that was a cool casting choice.
Agreed.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was cool.
And then my last one is just Paul Walter Hauser plays the aforementioned Mole Man. I love Paul Walter Hauser. I've loved him since he showed up in I, Tonya, which is a movie if people haven't seen, like, see it. He is a scene stealer, and he's in Richard Jewell. He's in Cobra Kai, the show, and then this year he was in Luckiest Man in America. He is the one person, though, that I'm like, he feels like he's in a different movie than everybody else.
Oh, sure.
You
I mean,
know,
he's
like,
a goof.
It is, and it's such an odd when he shows up because they're going to ask him to help, like, save, put everybody in the subterranean level. Which also, they did talk about how he eats planets from the inside out, so they
Probably
put actually
not.
people like maybe closer to danger. Actually,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But yeah, he's like, I want him to ask me, and it's just hamming it up real big. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't hate it. It's not like. It's not a
It
problem.
just sticks out
It
as
just
different.
sticks out so much from, like I said, everything else is tonally so consistent, and he is the one guy doing something totally different tonally.
I thought he was pretty funny though.
Yeah.
When he was like, "I didn't dress you this morning, Johnny." I thought that was
That was
funny.
a great insult. Don't
was.
be mad at me. I didn't dress you this morning. That was, or pick out your clothes or whatever he
Yeah,
says.
I thought that was funny.
I did too.
Yeah, not to hopefully not rob credit away from any of the 400 writers on this movie, but that felt like an improv type
Maybe
thing
it
to throw
was.
out.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah. IMDb trivia. I didn't read all the trivia because this is one of those movies that has a ton, but
Sure.
I just thought this was interesting because it's something that I obviously noticed, didn't think about, and I didn't know how to make the connection. That's during the opening when it's talking about the Fantastic Four were able to unite all the world's governments into a utopia, and it's painting a cross, and there's the one country that has an empty seat.
Where Doom.
where
It's
Dr. Doom's
Latveria. That yes, its leader is Dr. Doom, and I didn't know that. I was like, so I was happy to read that in the trivia. It's like,
Yeah.
and I like that that's something they don't ever spell out.
Yep.
So just-
if you know it, you know it. And if you don't, it doesn't affect
Exactly.
your enjoyment of the movie.
But it raises the question for someone like me. And I was like, I'm glad they answered because I forgot. It was early in the movie. And when it happened, I was like, well, what's with that one? And
Yeah.
it made me curious.
Yep.
So before we wrap up here, I do want to run through some fun questions.
Okay.
So the first one is just this. What's the best superhero movie of 2025 so far? So our options, of course, we've had at least 4 primary ones. There's been some other ones that are, I'm sure, comic book movies, but we've had Captain America, Brave New World.
Nope.
I figured that's the one everybody's going to cross off first. Thunderbolts, Superman, and now Fantastic Four. Where would you put your vote as the best superhero movie of 2025?
They are all so different, but probably Fantastic Four, but it's not that far away from Superman, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Oh man, I'm inclined to say Thunderbolts.
You know what? Say it.
I think I might say Thunderbolts. I will say this though, not to cop out on your question, but like really between Thunderbolts, Superman, and now Fantastic Four, that's a win for superhero movies. I think
Just a win for movies.
it is,
it's
yeah.
good.
But
Yeah.
like, I think it's what superhero movies needed. Like Thunderbolts didn't perform as well as they wanted it to, but people liked it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Thunderbolts to me, maybe just because it was just almost a surprise to me at how good it was.
Well, after Brave New World, I was like that movie was all right. Thunderbolts was gonna come out. It's like a bunch of like
Way lesser known.
C tier characters.
Yeah.
And then I watched it, I was like, wait, this is really good.
Yeah.
So that was a nice surprise.
Yeah, my answer is actually Superman. So I love the fact that we
all
each
three had
went
a
a different
different
one,
answer,
and I'm okay with y'all's answers.
Yeah.
Obviously, as we said, the first one, Captain America: Brave New World, we all just brushed aside quickly. But then the other 3 were competitive. But I asked that because of this, and your answers kind of already tell, to that question already tell us. Because my thought was, is it possible that this will be the first time since maybe 2007 that DC will have the superhero movie belt over the MCU? Because if Superman were considered the best of the year, I don't think DC's had a year since maybe The Dark Knight where you would say that DC's had the best movie between them and Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, even the fact that we have to have this conversation is a win for DC. Because before that, it was like they were just getting obliterated.
They were literally a laughing stock.
Yeah, like I remember like Justice League and Captain America Civil War came out not too far from each other. And everyone was like, yeah, screw the Justice League. Captain America Civil War, that's the movie about superhero conflict. Like it was ever even a question. So even the fact that it's a conversation now is a win for DC.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there will be some people that would say 2022, the Batman. I kind of forget that that's a DC movie.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what MCU movies came out there, but it was never a point where people were like, DC, they're back.
No, yeah.
You know,
Did
so
Black Widow come out in
I
2022?
think it was 2021. Shane, I don't know. I can't keep track anymore.
yeah.
No, I mean, I wouldn't argue too hard with someone that said, right now at this moment in time that DC has the belt. I wouldn't throw up too big of an argument.
I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, really, what I want is just for both of them to be good
I think it's good.
and kind of feed off each other.
I think it's good if Marvel's been running the game for so long, they could just do whatever they wanted to do, and they were gonna be the best superhero movies out. Now that DC's here, maybe it'll help Marvel not make Brave New Worlds or Thor: Love and Thunders, but keep making Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four level movies.
I mean, we're the ones who win if that competition is a healthy competition.
Yeah. All right. So next, we're still going with some questions, some multiple choices for you. We're going to pick our ultimate Fantastic Four cast. We did this with Superman. We're going to do it with Fantastic Four. So if we're picking our best version of Reed Richards, a.k.a. Mr. Fantastic, we've got Ioan Gruffudd from the 2005-2007 movies. We've got Miles Teller from the, 2016 or somewhere in there movie? I can't remember. We've got Pedro Pascal. And for this one, because he has been Mr. Fantastic before, we can throw in John Krasinski because he's played Mr. Fantastic in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. I don't need to think about this. I'm taking Pedro.
I'm going to take Pedro.
I think I will also take Pedro. And I'm surprised because I'm like you. I would have thought John Krasinski would have been a perfect casting of it. He didn't get to. I was very disappointed in his small part of it in the Multiverse of Madness. Shout out to Ioan Gruffudd, though, who just, his career did not take off after those old Fantastic Four movies.
No, they didn't
and
do
I
a
actually
lot
thought
for
he was an okay.
I thought he was my second pick behind Pedro.
Yeah. So Sue Storm, we've got Jessica Alba, we've got Kate Mara, and we've got Vanessa Kirby.
I'm going to take Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby.
Listen, you guys are probably right. But I'm going to ride
You're going
with
Alba,
Jessica
aren't you?
I'm riding with Alba because why? I don't know. Is it just because I love her? It could be.
It's all right. Follow your heart.
Yes, that is and also I do like Kate Mara, but that she wasn't going to stand out in that.
It's just unfortunate for everyone involved in that movie. What a mess that was.
Michael B. Jordan.
This
is in
next
that movie,
one
right?
is loaded. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Johnny Storm, aka Human Torch. We've got Chris Evans. We've got Michael B. Jordan. We've got Joseph Quinn. There isn't a bad option among those.
There's not.
But who are we going to pick?
I'll tell you who I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick Michael B. Jordan because I want him to get a chance to shine in a movie that's not a incoherent mess with studio interference and everything that happened.
If Chris Evans wasn't already Captain America, I feel like I might pick Chris Evans, but I think I'm going to take Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm going Chris Evans.
Yeah,
I've
I'm not
long
arguing
held the
with that.
position that I think he is way more fun as Human Torch than he ever was as Captain America. Captain America makes him play again, he's got to be like Mr. Integrity.
Sure.
And he's like a freaking vanilla
Boy Scout.
yeah. And Johnny Storm, he gets to play cocky. He is the more
Chris Evans is
hot-headed.
really good at that too.
As much as everybody dogs on those old Fantastic Four movies, everyone will say, but Chris Evans was a lot of fun. But Chris Evans was good, and I just loved him in that role.
I forgot that he was the Human Torch in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
yeah. And then finally, Ben Grimm, a.k.a. The Thing. We've got Michael Chiklis. We've got Jamie Bell. And we've got Evan Moss Backrack.
I don't know that it matters a whole lot, really.
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name. The new guy.
Eben.
Yeah, there you go. Eben.
I'll go with Michael Chiklis probably
Because
because he actually looked like that as a human. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Dude, that's evil.
It sounds
Just
weird.
saying.
Here's the thing. For one, I
Wait.
just want to shout out Jamie Bell because I think he's a good actor, and once again, just had no chance in this one because he was in a movie that wasn't good.
You said here's the thing, and we were just about the thing.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd
did.
point that out.
you just love good Fantastic Four
I'm
puns.
sorry, guys.
Michael Chiklis was doing something in his acting playing the
Yeah.
thing. He was doing a lot, and maybe it was even goofy, but he was doing something. Ebon Moss-Bachrach really had the benefit of they were like, just be Ebon Moss-Bachrach.
Yeah.
We're going to have a scene where you're in the kitchen, so you're going to taste the sauce and like you'll remind people that you're the guy from The Bear that they like.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm also going Michael Chiklis for that one, which if you're doing the tallies at home, means I picked 3 of the actors from the original
OG Fantastic Four.
bad Fantastic Four. And listen, I don't think they're good, so it's crazy to me that I'm picking that, but like, it is.
It is what it is.
funny. It is. I will say this. I thought the original. That's one of those movies that I liked when it came out, and I look back now and I'm like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, it doesn't age.
It doesn't
very
age well. I do remember it having a preview when I was in college before it came out, and its preview was set to a song by A Perfect Circle called "Counting Bodies Like Sheep," and it's a really like great trailer song. But the song hits so much harder than the movie
actual
does, and I was
movie.
like, this movie had no business having a song that sounded so like that goes so hard for that movie. But because of it, it was one of my favorite trailers because I thought it was just the song just made it sound so much
I
cooler.
remember it.
So Rotten Tomatoes, probably should have done this before we got into all those pickings, but Rotten Tomatoes, it's done well. It's got an 87% from critics. It's 93% from audiences.
Yeah, people like this movie.
Just for comparison, because we compared those other superhero movies of this year, that gives it the highest of the critic scores from the other ones. Thunderbolts was sitting at actually no, I'm sorry. If it's at 80, it was higher. It was tied with Thunderbolts. Now it's down. Thunderbolts has one higher on the critic score. But Superman's 83, Brave New World 46.
Yeah.
So the critics felt the same way we did.
pretty
Just brush
telling,
that
yeah.
aside. But I was blown away that this is 3 straight superhero movies, as we talked about,
People really
that
liked.
are over 90% on Rotten
Yeah.
Tomatoes. And I was like, I don't know what the last year is that we had 3 superhero
It's really
movies
impressive.
over 90%. So really, really impressive. Andy, how's this movie done at the box office?
Really well. I think worldwide it opened to, what do we say, like 230 million?
In the first 48 hours, it's made 109% of its budget back.
Yeah, it had like a 175 to 200 million dollar budget, and it exceeded that worldwide. And so we've talked about it before. The big thing with these superhero movies is the second week holdover, and I mean that's very promising that people and critics both like it. The big competition for next weekend is The Naked Gun.
The Naked Gun and Together are like the new releases.
which is
And I don't
not going to
think
take
either
the
of
audience
those-
from
yeah.
Fantastic Four. So it's off to a good start. If it can stay around that 50, I think Superman had like a 56 or something like that % drop, and everyone was really happy with that in its second week. So if it can hover around that, it's going to be really good for the MCU.
Yeah.
So off to a good start though. Like there was clearly anticipation about this movie, and people turned out to it and they like it. And I will say we didn't talk about it a lot, but I think that mid-credit scene might get some people talking and maybe
Yeah.
get people wanting to go. And
Yeah, because the mid-credit scene, we didn't talk about it, it teases Doctor Doom. We
It
get
does.
a moment of Sue Storm walking around a corner where Baby is, and just the side profile of Doom.
The director came out and said that it was Robert Downey
that's
Jr.
actually RDJ.
in that scene.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'm sure that cost them a lot of money.
Yeah, he probably made $38 million to that. Let me say this though, real quick. I know we've been on here a while, but kudos to this movie too for not just doing like they showed Doctor Doom. Like you don't see his face, but so many times it's like they're so interested in like how much can we tease this, and it's like you see this, and if you know the comics, you know that this means this, which means this, which means it's Doctor Doom. They cut all that. It's like there is Doctor Doom. And I've already seen a lot of online speculation of like, what does that mean for the Thunderbolts credit scene where you see the Fantastic Four ship coming? I told Ryan, I said, now it's safe to assume that maybe the plot of Doomsday is going to be that Doom did indeed take Franklin, and now they're all coming after him. So like, it showed you Doctor Doom, didn't give a whole lot away, but it also got us talking. So that was a big success, I thought.
Yeah, it is a little unfortunate that we've got a long wait.
17 months.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
In
we've
unison.
talked. We've talked.
At least we have a Spider-Man movie in between that.
Yeah. What do we think about this now? So now
will we actually get it though?
we're a
Because
year away.
And they haven't even started filming yet.
I think it's starting like this week.
August 1st is when it's supposed to start.
So we think it's going to get.
It's bold. I'm just not gonna hold out. I'm gonna be very skeptical that we're gonna get the Spider-Man movie
In
when they
July.
say.
I hope
yeah.
we get it before Doomsday still.
I hope so too.
But-
Is it good or bad that we don't have another MCU theatrical release for a year?
It's just interesting because they've got buzz back on them for the first time in
And
a
now
long
we gotta
time.
wait a year.
And now they're
For the build-up and the anticipation standpoint, I think it's good that we have to wait like 17 months for Doomsday. But for me, like I just want to see it now.
Yeah.
Like I'm so excited
Do you
about
think
it.
they'll put tickets on sale a year in advance for Doomsday and see if they sell out? Like,
Pull a Chris Nolan?
yeah,
They probably could.
there's got to be a sense of like their pride that they're like, we got to show we can also do that.
I
So
wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
yeah,
I have a question for you guys.
absolutely.
I wrote down a question. How do you guys feel like they did like the family of the Fantastic Four? Because the whole thing was like it's
You're
Marvel's
right.
first family.
And they were very focused on the family aspect of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Because in the other movies, is Sue Storm and the Human Torch, are they brother and sister in the other
they're
movies too?
together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
Because that is the one thing. As much as I'm critical of like their sort of blandness overall, and each character not really needing to develop that much, it is because the whole thing is supposed to be about them as a unit, and they really made them a unit quite well.
They did do that well.
In everything that they did, they were doing everything together, and I think it's really hard in these team up movies not to have like, well, then this person goes over here and does their thing, and this person goes over here to do their thing.
they
So
stuck together.
They do everything together.
They also didn't do the cliched thing that a lot of movies about like a team do where they have a falling out and one of
Yeah.
them, they didn't do that. And I was glad. It's like, we've seen that. It's just going to stretch the movie out longer. So
I never felt this movie drag.
no, it didn't drag. It's under 2 hours. That's crazy.
That's such a good trend that's happening.
I like it. Superman, Thunderbolts, they're all like 2 hours or under.
Because it doesn't feel like they're sacrificing anything important to
No,
stay. It
not at
feels like they're
all.
getting rid of all the
They're
like,
just
excess.
They're just moving.
I feel like I could have like I would have been fine if this movie was like 15 or 20 more minutes and we got a little more like.
Because one thing you did say is you wish we would have seen their powers more.
I wish we would have seen like the Thing do more things. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Like clobber things more. You know. I wish we could have seen some more like some stretching things, like him like doing cool things with that, and stuff like that. But
See, that's really what makes me think that in Doomsday we're going to get a lot of Fantastic Four versus Doom. I think we'll see a lot more of their powers and stuff.
I also kind of wish that we would have got more of Ben and that girl. Like I thought that was pretty cool.
Kind of odd. Like they kind of set it up, but then nothing really happened with it.
There's like I follow this page on Instagram. It's like verified, so like I'm like pretty sure most of the stuff is true. But it's like there's like a 30-ish minute scene where it's just like him and this girl kind of, and they just like cut from the movie.
Yeah.
Which I mean, like I didn't need a 30-minute scene, but I
Yeah.
would have liked a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, John Malkovich was also in this movie at some point and got completely cut out
Yeah,
of
he
it.
was like, you know, like the apes that the guy kicks.
Yeah.
It was like his apes,
Oh, gotcha.
like that Mr. Fantastic kicks in like the
At the
beginning,
beginning, when it's like doing that montage of all the.
and he like
yeah,
kicks
yeah.
the ape into the river. It's supposed to be like his like mind
Gotcha.
controlled
Okay.
apes or something.
I'm like you. I like these more streamlined.
Yeah. And I'm happy to walk out feeling like I wanted more.
I'd
Like,
rather-
that's all you'd want more rather than wish there was less.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we are going to wrap up here in a minute because we've already gone an hour and 13 and a half minutes.
Holy
So,
cow.
Yeah, we got. I mean, it was a fun one to talk about.
was,
We had
yeah.
a lot to break down. But this is also a little bit sad because this is going to be our last one in person for a while. At
For a
least.
while, yeah.
Because I'm moving, taking off tomorrow to go down to Tennessee.
Yeah.
And so the podcast, as we said, it's still going. I've had several people ask, what's going to happen to the podcast? I'm like, listen, the podcast isn't going anywhere. I wouldn't be moving if the podcast couldn't keep going. So
Just going to look a little different.
it's just going to look a little different. But we'll still be going. So there's a little bit of that. Before I go, I do have something for you, Andy.
Oh my gosh, what is happening right now? Never before have you gotten up like this. Do I open this on camera?
Yeah, you can open it on camera.
Do you want me to? Or?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Wow.
So just a little something since I'm going away.
Ah, look at you. Look at you.
So wanted to get you,
What a guy.
something cool.
What
like
a
Jaws
podcast
t-shirt.
boss you are. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And there's one other thing in there too,
Oh, gosh.
which you can try and tell me what you like. But I figured since I'm making you go remote, I would get you your new pair of wireless headphones
What
so
a
that you
guy.
could
What a boss.
have that. So
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, not to get all mushy, but like, I know this is just a small podcast and sometimes not that many people watch. This is truly like a dream come true. Yeah. Like the fact that we've gotten to do this face to face for 2 years has been incredible. And it'll just make it all the more great when we do get to reunite in person.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a blast. And I've always tried to give you do all the work. You do. Like, I just show up and babble. You do the work, and it is appreciated.
Well, I love it. I tell people all the time it's the most important thing in my life, even though it's just the hobby. And people have made the mistake of saying this job I'm going to is my dream job. I say no. Like, it's what I've said is sort of the ideal job to do down there. My dream job is people to pay us to do this. This is the
That
dream
is
job.
the dream.
Like, don't go. I'm not dream jobbing about teaching. I'm dream jobbing about doing this.
So if you're out there listening and you're a trillionaire, we would be glad for you to pay us to do this every week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. To all the trillionaires listening.
Yes. And Ryan, we're really thankful to have you on here.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
bringing
well,
your MCU knowledge.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. It's been a dream come true for me to be on this. I'm not even joking.
So many dreams are coming true today.
That's what we do here.
We
on the
make
Jeremy
dreams
and
come
Andy
true.
Talk Movies podcast. We're about making dreams happen. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us.
Yes.
And not sure exactly what our episode will be next week, as we talked about. Not the greatest new release schedule,
Oh, brother.
so we'll figure it out. We'll do something though.
We will go through The Naked Gun second by second because
There
it's
you
going to be
go.
a classic now.
But yeah, if you got good ideas, maybe send those our way.
We could do some.
And in the meantime, everybody get to the theater, enjoy some movies, enjoy
Yeah,
some of the
there's
good
a lot of
superhero
good ones
movies
out
that are
this
out
summer.
there. And we will see you guys next time.
So yeah.
See you.